Philos, yeah.
Hello. Philos.
Greetings, everyone.
Greetings. Thank you for coming.
It's my pleasure. I'm honored to be here with all of you tonight. Thank you for that wonderful vibration. It's beautiful. Tonight I'd like to speak to you somewhat about the nature of reality. Reality is a big subject. I'm going to take this into some parts tonight. I'm not going to speak too much about creation, which is part of reality. I'm going to say that for another time because that's such a big subject all by itself. Tonight I'm going to speak to you about reality as it relates to you and your lives, and the universe that you live in, the world that you're on the planet. First thing that you have to understand is that reality is created. That's the very first law of reality. The second is that there is a fluidity to reality, or a concreteness to reality, that is based upon the number of intelligent beings that believe in that reality. And there are three levels to reality. The first level of reality is your personal sphere of existence. The reality that you create within your own personal sphere. And in that part of reality, in that personal sphere part of reality, there is a very great flexibility and the realities that you could create and that you could go quickly from one to another. The second level of reality is that which is created by large numbers of people, the mass consciousness, as you might have heard it called. And there is great validity in that. Mass consciousness of many intelligent beings can create a reality, and if they change, then it can create a different reality. And I'm going to elaborate on these in a moment. And the third level is the universal core of reality. This is a very special part. You might imagine it like a sphere. And the first layer of the sphere is your personal reality of existence. Your personal sphere of existence is reality. And the second layer of the sphere is that which is created by the mass consciousness of people. And then the inner core of the sphere is the inner core reality of the universe. Now this inner core reality, the deeper you go, the more difficult it is to change the reality. And the inner core reality, that's been in existence for a little over 10 billion years unchanged. And that's what we're going to use as our foundation. It actually could be changed. It hasn't been changed in this universe for 10 billion years, but it could be if enough higher beings willed it to be so. But it would take a great amount of energy to do that. So we will begin then with the personal sphere of existence as reality. In your personal sphere of existence, you're able to change your reality from one thing to another quite easily. But many people get bogged down in one type of reality or another, and they have a difficult time changing it. For instance, perhaps they are too poor, they can't change the reality of being wealthy. Or perhaps they're in a bad relationship and they can't change the reality of being in a good relationship or being in a different relationship. There are many things that can be changed, but you have to understand the secret of the change. You see, you are all magical beings. You have immense power greater than you can even imagine. You have the power to change your personal reality, whatever it is, and whatever you want it to be, you have the power to do that, right now, in this life. But to do that, you must understand the difference between four words: belief, hope, wish, and conviction. These are four important words. For instance, let's take abundance. Many people believe that they can have abundance. They believe that very sincerely. They understand the concepts, they understand changing the reality. They believe all of that. But they still don't have abundance. Why is that? You see, because belief, inside the belief, there is also a seed of doubt. So there may be a large part of you that says, yes, I believe this. But inside that large part, there's a smaller part that says, well, I don't really believe it. I don't really believe that I can have that. I don't really believe that I'm worthy of that, or capable of that. And then there's hope. Hopes are continually being dashed. And then there's wishes. Wishes, as someone from your planet has said, are weak prayers without the faith to launch them. And then there's conviction. And that's the key word. Conviction. How many of you have conviction about changing your realities? What is conviction? Conviction is a knowing. No argument can change conviction. No amount of evidence can sway conviction to something else. Conviction is strong. Conviction has not even the slightest seed of doubt within it. And that is the secret to changing your reality on your personal basis. It does not matter what that reality you wish to change is. The day you reach the point that you have conviction, you won't be able to change it. And when you have conviction, it will happen like that. You are magical beings. And that is this magical formula, conviction. Now, when we say change reality, how much can you change reality? Are we talking about just temporal things like being rich or poor? Or is there more to it than that? Well, there's more to it than that. You see, you can change reality even in your belief systems, religious. In fact, that's why all religions really have validity. It doesn't matter what a person believes. They can believe that they are Christians and that there is a heaven and a hell. They can believe that they are atheists and there is nothing after this life, that this life is all there is. And those are realities that they actually can create both in this life and that afterlife. So for instance, let us say that we have a Christian here, and he believes in a heaven and a hell. That's his belief. And it's beyond belief. He is convinced, conviction, that there is a heaven and a hell, and that he's going to go when he dies to one or the other. Well, actually, that will happen for him. He believes that based upon how he lived his life in this life, according to a certain set of rules that were given to him by his religion, that he's going to go to one of those two places, heaven or hell. And guess what? When he dies, he shall. If he thinks he's going to go to hell, and he's going to burn in a lake of fire and brimstone forever, well, he shall. Only it won't be forever, but he will actually meet his reality that he's convinced of, that he has conviction for. But not forever. And I'll tell you why in a moment. Now let's say the atheist. He's just the opposite. He thinks that there is no God and there is no anything beyond this life, and that after this life it's over. That's nothing. There's nothing after that. And so shall be for him for a time. When he dies, there shall be nothing for a time. But then we come back to the third layer of reality, universal core of reality. That's been unchanged for 10 billion years. And this is what happens. It's those outer two layers, your personal reality that can include the afterlife, and the mass conscious reality, the second layer. These are changeable. The universal core of reality, that's been the same for a long, long time. And what is this universal core of reality? Well, this consists of, look at your universe. All of the stars and the planets that are in your universe, all of the heavenly bodies, these are part of the universal core of reality. What that means is that the trillions of beings that exist in this universe all perceive these the same way. They may not perceive them the same way at the same time, but when they are faced with the reality of it, they do. There are other things that are part of it. For instance, the hierarchy of intelligent beings that starts with a primordial intelligence and ends, or doesn't end, but culminates in a celestial energy being, which is really the beginning of eternal progression, not the end. That's part of the core reality of the universe. The Microbian realm, a very important part of the core reality of the universe. And the timeline that the universe, this universe, not all universes, this universe, the one you live in, has been here for a little over 10 billion years. Those are all parts of the core reality of the universe, unchanged for all this time. And now we go back to the Christian who's burning forever in his lake of fire. but he's in hell now, and afterlife. But what happens to this person is that his reality, the one that he believed so strongly in, that had conviction of, it asserted itself after he died, and he went to this hell where he was in this lake and burning and not being consumed forever. But the forever part, that was the part that didn't last, because at some point, the universal core of reality begins to assert itself. And his reality, which was not a true reality, but one that he created, begins to vanish like a fog. And eventually he finds that, lo and behold, this lake that he was in was actually in the Cropian realm. The Cropian realm is a location that you go to after you die in any life. It's in the very center of the universe. It's not a planet, it's a space in the center of the universe. Where do you go while you await your next life? But if your reality from your religious beliefs tell you that you're going to go to a heaven or a hell, then that would be where you would be at, but it would be in the Cropian realm, and there will come a time when the universal core reality will assert itself, and the reality that was created by the being, the creative energy being that's there, will begin to fade, and they will find, oh boy, I'm here in the Cropian realm, and now I have total recall of all that I have been for all of my lifetimes. Now I know where I'm at, so now I can choose another life and another planet. Where am I going to go? So there is that. But then it goes also to this life, not just the afterlife. It's the same for this life. Let us say, for instance, that in your belief system that you have right now, that there are sprites and fairies and divas. Alright? I'm sure there are some people who have that belief system now. The sprites and fairies and divas are not part of the universal core of reality, but that does not mean that they are not real for those who have that conviction. And I don't mean real like they believe they are real. I do not mean real like they think they are real but they really are not. I mean they're really unreal for them who have that conviction. But it has to be a conviction. Remember, belief has a seed of doubt. So for instance, let us say you have two people here, and this person has a conviction that there are fairies and sprites and divas. Now, these are real beings, physical beings that you can touch, they're real. And there's a person over here who believes that there are fairies and sprites and divas, but they don't have this conviction. And so because they have a seed of doubt, because they only believe, they don't have conviction, this person will be able to actually see fairies and sprites and divas, and not in their imagination. I mean, they will be real, they will be there. Because they are actually able, because they are magical beings, remember? And they can take their magic, and they can actually change the energy of the surrounding things. Everything is energy. And you can form it however you will. And conviction is a very great power. And with that conviction, you could look to this spot right here. You could say, here, I see a fairy, a sprite, a diva. And on the wavelength that you are perceiving that, you will actually change the energy. And there will physically be a fairy, sprite, or diva there. Physically. Not in your imagination. Real. Now, here's this person over here who just believes in fairies and sprites and divas. They're going to look at the very same spot and they're not going to see anything. But that's real for them too. It is not a figment of their imagination that there is nothing there. There really is nothing there for them. Well, that's a hard concept to grasp. I'll entertain a question right now on that subject, if there is one.
Is that why children can say that they see things? Because they have conviction?
They have conviction and they are not so influenced by the mass consciousness of the people who say that that's not so. That's true.
Okay, I'm curious then. I'm understanding what you're saying, but where, for those that create them and they're very real to them, they actually see them. And some I've even been with have talked to them and they talk back.
That's right, that's right.
Where does the idea come from in their head to create this? Where does the conviction come from? I mean, is this truly just made up? I mean, something has to come from something that's meant with that.
You have been, remember, you have lived thousands of lifetimes, and you have been informed yourself that are like a fairy, like a sprite, or like a diva. These memories are all part of you. It's very easy for you to create anything from your memories, from the cells that are inside of you. These things have existed at some times on your planet for some realities, but not for others. The main thing is to remember that you yourself have been virtually in every form that there is to be, and these are part of you. With your conviction, you can create them for real. but you have to remember that as real as they are for you, they may not be for someone else. And it is just as real for that other person, whether or not. Let us take another example. Let us take Mount Shasta. Everybody likes Mount Shasta, yes?
Yes.
Good spot. Well, let us say that there is a person, and they believe that in the middle of Mount Shasta, underneath, there is a great city of trolls. Right? And they have a conviction of this, not just a belief. They have a conviction that inside the Mount Shasta there is a great city of trolls. And this person is accompanied by their friend, the scientist, who believes that such things are nonsense. And they were walking up to Mount Shasta. The person with the conviction of the trolls can actually, by their conviction, change the energies of the mountain. And there will really, not in the figment of imagination, there will really be a tunnel there that they could walk into the mountain into. They will walk down that tunnel, and they will last come to Troll City. And they will be there. And it will be absolutely real. It's not imagination, it is physically real for them. Now the scientist, on the other hand, you could ask him what was happening at the same exact time. And he will tell you, well, I'm standing on the mountain talking to my friend. And that is real for him too. And you see, this is the interesting thing about reality, is different realities can exist simultaneously in the same spot. When you're dealing on a personal level, your own personal sphere of existence. In the scientist's mind, there's no possible way there could be a tunnel that goes into the mountain and leads to a troll city. Therefore, his reality, physically, there is no tunnel there. His friend is physically standing there. He can feel him, he can shake his hand, he can put his arm around him. He is real. And for the friend, he doesn't know what the scientist is talking about. He's down in Troll City. And it's just as physically real for him as well. This is the power that you wield. You are magical beings of immense power. Now, if you can do this, if you can go to this mountain, and with your conviction, create a tunnel that is real, and walk down that tunnel, and with your conviction, be in Troll City, surrounded by all these creatures that are physically real, that you can touch, they are not figments of your imagination. If you can do this, can you not do more mundane things with your life, like give yourself abundance, which is actually easier than making a tunnel in the mountain and going to Troll City? So you have against you, of course, the mass consciousness that tells you, no, you can't do that. But I'm going to tell you that you can.
I have a question.
Yes, you have a question. Luna.
Marina.
Yes,
Um,
I recognize
from the
that.
from the point of view, I have from the point of view of the troll.
The troll, yes.
That's it's a creature that has its own reality. That has been, it's like. I mean, there's been situations in which I had at the beginning, when I started opening up spiritually, I had no idea about any of those entities and beings outside of myself. And the reason why I believed is because they started contacting me, very much like you can contact me in the inner plane. So, I mean, I'm not just, I didn't make them up
No,
because
they
I
are
had
not
a
figments of
conviction.
your imagination. They are real. For you, they are real. That is true. That's
So,
the
but
point I'm making.
do they have an independent relationship, independent life, independent from my own observation of them?
Absolutely. And your reality, they do. And that reality is real. That is the point I'm trying to make. I'm glad you brought that up because that's exactly the point I'm trying to make. And I know it's hard to grasp. It's a little bit, you have to connect a few more of those neurons in the brain. Because it is a difficult concept. Multiple realities, when you're dealing on a personal plane of existence and also on a mass consciousness plane of existence, multiple realities can exist simultaneously occupying the same space. And they are both real. One is not a figment and the other is real. They are both real. So, for you, if your conviction is that these creatures are real, then they are real all the time. They're not just real when you're thinking about them. They're real when you're looking to see them. They are real going about doing their thing even when you're not around.
But I didn't know of their existence before they contacted me.
Because there are others who do believe in them, you see. You did not create them by yourself. Before you ever were, before you ever thought about them, there were others who already believed that they were, that had conviction that they were. And so they have already been created for those who can perceive on that level of reality. that way.
And do these creatures have their own free will?
They have everything that you've created them to have.
Okay.
You are the master here. They are ultimately not part of the inner core of universal reality. So on that level, they don't have existence. But on the level of mass consciousness, on the level of personal spheres, they have as real existence as this person sitting here in the hand. That they can go out there, they have the whole life, they do everything that is created for them.
So am I part, are individual, created beings, part of the ultimate core of...
You are part of the universal core reality. You have been that part, created energy beings, have been part of the universal core reality for 10 billion years. And that has been unchanged. That is what I have said earlier, that the hierarchy of intelligent beings, that begins with a primordial intelligence and culminates in a celestial energy being. That hierarchy has been in existence for 10 billion years. And that can too be changed. That if enough of the higher beings will that reality to change, it would. But it has been in existence so long, that is what we use as our foundation of what actually is. And all other things eventually fade away and change. So for instance, let us say that, let us talk some more about, for instance, time travel. This is another fun subject.
Yeah, that's good.
And you have
Very sad.
you have time travel, and you have going to different dimensions, and all of these very fun things. They are really fun, I tell you. Now, these things can only exist on the first two layers of reality. They exist on the personal sphere of reality, and they exist on the mass consciousness sphere of reality. They do not exist on the inner core of universal reality. On the inner core of universal reality, there is a timeline. In this universe, first you have to understand that there are innumerable universes other than the one that you are in, that I am. There are too many to count. But we are only dealing with our universe right now. In our universe, it began about 10 billion years ago. And it is here now. And now is the present. The future is yet to be, and the past is dead. In the universal core reality, there is only the present. But on the other two layers, the mass consciousness layer and the personal sphere layer, there is past and there is future. And there are other dimensions. And they are real. They are not figments. They are not created things that you are thinking are real that really aren't. They are really real. Honest. And you can go to them. And it is quite fun, actually. It requires conviction. Now, let us go to the past and the future. The past, that's fairly easy to go to. Actually, if you want to experiment with past and things, the past is one of the easier things to go to because the mass consciousness supports the past. If you were to take your planet and to look at your past history, virtually all of the people of the planet would somewhat agree on what the past history is. There might be little deviances here and there, but overall they agree what the history was. And so that mass consciousness is supporting that past reality. So even if you don't have a personal knowledge of the past, you may not even know anything about history, you can travel to the past, and that past is real, it will exist for you. You can spend your entire life in the past if you like. And that is supported by the mass consciousness. Now, you can do the other way. You can go to the future. Now, the future is also supported by the mass consciousness, but it's not the same as the past. The past, there's pretty much one past that the mass consciousness supports. But the future, there are two futures. So you could have a choice of which one you wish to go to. Part of your mass, part of your population of your planet, sees a future and they have a conviction that ultimately the future is going to be destruction and decay. That is the future they see. So that reality does exist as a future. And then there's another part of your population that sees the future as being a utopia. Harmony and peace and abundance. And that future also exists. Both futures exist. And you can travel to either future that you wish. Because they both are being maintained by the energy of the mass consciousness for them. Now, what happens if you do? Let's say that you travel to the past, or you travel to the future, and you like it so much you decide you're going to spend this entire life as a creative energy being there. You like the future so much you don't want to go back to the present that you're in. You like living in the future, so you go there, and you age the same way as you normally age, and you're going to spend your whole life there. Well, then what happens is very interesting. It's the same as what we were talking about in the afterlife. Remember the man who went to hell? And he burned for a while, but then he had to stop burning because the universal core of reality began to assert itself, and his burning in this lake of fire but never being consumed the lake started to get cold. It wasn't so hot anymore. And then it started to not be there. And pretty soon he found out that he was actually in the Krogan realm all the time. And it's the same for the person who went to the future. They can spend their entire life in the future, but at some point before they physically die, they have to return to the present. Because the present is the universal core of reality. And the future was only generated by the mass consciousness.
I have a question.
Yes?
Where is the lucid dream state in? What's that?
The lucid dream state. That's actually another subject. It doesn't really fit into this at all. The lucid dream state, I'd rather just talk about that at another time because it does not connect to this. Your lucid dream state, you can do traveling in your night self. And your lucid dream state is your day self attempt to interpret that where your night self is going. But this is not the same as what I'm talking about for traveling through the future or the past or going to different dimensions or things like that. That is not the same thing. But to make that clear very quickly, when you dream lucidly particularly, but even when you're not dreaming lucidly, you have two parts of you, your day self and your night self. Your day self goes to sleep, and your night self goes off and calibrates around the universe and goes and has lots of fun. But your day self and your night self, they're not very much the same. And so your day self is somewhat aware of what's going on with your night self, and is trying to interpret that. This is not what all dreams are about. This is what many dreams are about. It's your day self, feeble attempt to try to explain what your night self is doing. But it's like you're trying to read Spanish, for instance. Maybe you only know a few words of Spanish. Someone gives you this document and says, here, translate this Spanish document into English. And you look at it and you can only make out a few words of it. So you make a feeble attempt to translate it, but what the picture that your translation paints is not really the picture that is on the document. And that's what happens in your night self. Your day self is your night self goes and does these wonderful things, fun. Your day self tries to, how does this relate to my reality? And it tries to translate it down, and it doesn't get a very good picture generally. But one of the things that we can help you actually do is to put those two together. But that's another subject. I promise I won't go off on tangents, so I will not go further on that.
Well, that's it for part 1 of Philos' talk on the true nature of reality. Please check out our next video, which will be part 2 of the true nature of reality, when Philos gave his talk back in the mid-90s. Now there's a couple things I want to talk about real quickly concerning the true nature of reality. The first one is when Philos spoke about the 3 levels of reality: your personal reality, mass consciousness reality, and the core universal reality. The last one is the one that we deal with in Celestine Light. Because the mass consciousness and your personal reality, those are mutable. They can be changed and influenced. But the core universal reality, that reality remains the same forever and ever, and as Philos mentioned, has been the same for over 10 billion years. And that's it. The teachings of Celestine Light are based upon the core universal reality. The other thing I wanted to bring up is that a couple of my books actually are pertinent to this as well. Of course, when you're talking about the teachings of Celestine Light, the book, The Oracles of Celestine Light, which is the teachings that Yeshua gave during his time here on earth, 800 pages of wonderful wisdom. That's a very worthwhile book for you to check out. But the other one that's more entertaining is the story of Lazarus and Hannah, Lazarus of Bethany, who, along with his wife Hannah, visited another world. And they did this back in the time of Yeshua, 2,000 years ago, as part of their purpose as guardians of the earth that they had just been called to. And this was all new to them. They didn't know anything about anything like that, other worlds at the time. So this was an eye-opening and shocking experience for them, especially as the people that they met on this other world were the Nartesians, who were very advanced mentally. And as we were talking about in this talk with Philos about the true nature of reality and how people can make perceptions of fairies and sprites and trolls and divas that can be their personal reality or their the mass consciousness reality that manifests those things. But what we learn about in Destiny is that there are beings, the Nartesians as an example, who are so advanced mentally that they can create mentally dragons and buildings and food that you eat that actually nourishes you, that's all created from the power of their mind. So it is actually astounding. And I think if you would like to read a book that tells you some amazing truths and at the same time does it in an entertaining way, you might enjoy Destiny and the book that preceded it, which is the first book of the series, Inception. Until next time, namaste, my friends.